Today I'm going to do a jungle base for this large flying base for the vehicle I have. First off, I thought I would show you these pieces of ruin. Actually got several of these in different sizes, so I'll show you a video here and you can see the different sizes. For the main stone colour, it was painted with a Mechanicus standard grey first, and then it was dry brush with underhive hash, and that's how I got this type of look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto the base. Obviously the stem here has already been glued on. Because this is resin, we want to use super glue. What I want to do with this is try and hide, I mean obviously you can't hide the entire of the stem, but I want to try and hide as much as possible, so I at least want to hide this at the bottom. While that's drying, we're going to show you some of the foliage we're going to use. What you see here at the bottom is how they look when you buy them, and they are somewhat plastic natured in colour, even though some of them, like this one here, as you can see, has a bit of colour to it. First off, I use a very old Games Workshop paint called Jungle Green. This gives you an idea what the colour looks like. We'll end up making it look like this. Then afterwards, I've basically done a dry brush version of using Moot Green. So this is basically two coats of paint, maybe three. I might suggest with the first colour to apply it twice, just in case you might have missed areas the first time round. And then with the Moot Green on afterwards, this is the end result. Also, we've got these coconut trees which have this large piece on top, and if you look on the underneath of it, you can see there's a hole there. So basically the hole just fits in. I don't want to use the whole tree. What I want to do is use the top, and again it will be painted the same as the other pieces. This hole here will come in handy for us a bit later on. What we want to do is we want to get this bush into a location, but because we've got this hole underneath, what we can do is we can have a piece of brass rod go into the hole, and then we can put the rod into the base, which makes it stronger. First, what we need to do is we need to find out the location for where to put the hole into your base. So obviously the base is dark in colour, so what I suggest is where the circle is at the bottom, a bright coloured paint. I would suggest red myself, and you paint it on the bottom, and then we push it in place. Now I've got a marker so I know where I need to drill my hole. I've got two of these bushes, so I'm going to do the same again on the back. So we've marked our two locations ready. The bush itself has been painted, and we've put a piece of brass rod inside of the hole that was there. Now we're going to leave these for a while, and what we need to do next is Rhinox hide, and we want to paint all of the base. We want all the top of the cupboard, and depending on your preferences, for me personally with these particular miniatures, I'm going to paint the side piece here the same colour as well. We now have our main base. We've got some of our plants which have been painted, super glue, grass turfs, mixed herbs, which comes from a supermarket. In regards to the plants, what I suggest is you cut off the bottom, this little piece here, make sure it's flush, and these will be glued on with super glue. The herbs will be glued with PVA, and the grass turfs will be glued with the PVA glue as well. I mentioned before about drilling some holes into the main base for these larger pieces of plant. The only thing is, obviously, if I glue it in place straight away, you can't get in here. What I would suggest is we want to apply, now these little turf pieces, although they have actually got some glue on the back, which is what holds them onto the thin piece of plastic. It's not a particularly strong glue, so this is why you want the PVA, or one of the reasons. And you're going to want to push it in there, push it down. Another thing I would suggest is don't try and cover the whole base in one go. There you see now we've got a bit of turf, and we've also got leaf foliage, which is what I use the mixed herbs for. The biggest concern you've got really here is obviously because you're using super glue and you're using PVA glue, you don't want to end up touching wet super glue with your paintbrush, because you can wash the PVA glue out with water. You can't do that with the super glue. I would suggest as well, each time you want to apply the mixed herbs, that you want to knock off any of the excess. So I'm going to finish this off, and you'll see what it looks like shortly. The main things I would give advice on will be, remember to do it in stages, because for example, as you can see through here, once all these bushes have been put in, it's going to be very hard to try and get in there to do the the leaf effect. Add a plant, add some leaves, and you want to just keep doing it in a gradual stage like that. Earlier on I showed you these. As you can see, because how big they are, really they're too big to put next to the miniatures. But what we can do is, once we've painted them up, we can cut the leaves off. We can even, if we wanted to, keep this stem part and cut it down somewhere, and then with a bit of super glue we can glue them in place. If you like the video, remember to like, share, and click on the button on the lower right hand side to subscribe.